What's up, guys? You're very welcome along to the first Cop Council podcast of the week. Apologies about the delay. We had actually started, but this idiot, as usual, didn't hit the right button and we weren't actually streaming live. So we're back here now on actually live. I'm joined by Dave and by Christian to have a little look back over Liverpool's win against Spurs at Wembley, and of course have a look ahead to the massive game tomorrow night at Anfield against Paris Saint-Germain. The first game in the Champions League this season. The lights at Anfield. Doesn't get much better than that, but look, I have to compose myself. We have a game to look back over from yesterday. Christian, buddy, I need to give you credit where it's due. Once again, and you keep showing me up on this one, buddy, but once again, mate, you got the team selection absolutely spot on. Who's giving it to you? Come on, tell the truth.
Yeah, well, I can kind of think that I like this because it has been about the midfield, really. That's been the tough thing to nail. But on Liverpool FC HQ, Anton Clark has nailed the starting lineup every game except for one player so far. So, and then he actually brought in Henderson at the right time. So, yeah, he's being impressive, and he's posting the starting lineup for tomorrow quite soon. So, will be interesting to see which one he chooses.
For you, Dave, were you happy enough with the 11 Klopp put out?
Yeah, I couldn't complain, mate. I couldn't complain in hindsight because we won 2-1. I thought, looking at the game, I thought the biggest compliment I could pay the Liverpool midfielders was the way Spurs were completely bypassing them. But no complaints. I think the back five, including Alisson, is going to remain unchanged for a long, long time, barring any injuries. No, absolutely delighted, mate.
We had this criticism. Well, we hadn't really had a Christian, but fans around the world had this wonder as to why Gini Wijnaldum just cannot score away from home. Well, he did it now, mate. It's done. Job done. Premier League goal. Got one in the Champions League semi-final last year. I think we can finally put that myth to bed now.
Yeah, his improvement is just fantastic. He has leveled up in every aspect of the game, and he looks so confident. And he's one of these players who creates time for his surroundings. So, it's looked very positive for him at the moment.
And Dave, for you, what do you think has given Gini Wijnaldum this boost this season? Because for me, mate, he's upped his level from last season and given Klopp a genuine headache of who to pick in that midfield trio.
Yep. I think bringing in Naby Keita and also Fabinho could have given him a little rocket in the backside. Look, Naby is a world-class midfielder. I think Gini realises that, and obviously he needs to raise his game. But it's good. We've been saying this all along, Craig, in different pods and with Christian as well, that what we need is players to give Jurgen Klopp the biggest headache possible and just keep on giving him a headache, because this is the strongest squad I can remember. And look, Gini Wijnaldum has completely upped his game. He's a box-to-box midfielder this season. He's just doing extremely well, and I'm delighted for him.
Christian, Dave just said there that he believes this is the strongest squad that we've had in a very long time. We heard Graham Souness come out during the week and say that he believes this is Liverpool's strongest squad since the title-winning squad in 1990. Would you agree with that?
I do. It's a surprise to many, but I thought Wijnaldum hit this peak because Klopp decided to start the season with players available early from pre-season. So Milner, Keita and Wijnaldum was the obvious choice, really. Even though Fabinho came in, he wasn't there yet when it comes to physique and understanding of how Liverpool work. And I think that created a big boost for Wijnaldum to know that he was going to be a starter, and then to have Milner next to him and see and learn from one of the smartest players and one of the longest hard-working players in Premier League. I think that helped him a lot. So when we look at Milner and Wijnaldum, I think they are the strongest midfield I've seen since Gerrard and Alonso together. And that's saying a lot. And that's saying a lot about how much both Milner and Wijnaldum has improved. And now maybe Keita is the weak link from them, and who would have thought that coming into the new season?
Yeah, it's tough. As I said earlier on, it's tough to even mention those words, Keita and weak link, because we know the ceiling this guy has, and we know how good he's gonna be. But Dave, looking at it from a Spurs point of view, they seem to have the problem, mate, that we had a couple of seasons back. So they had no Dele Alli for this game. They've no Hugo Lloris for this game. Harry Kane looks like he hasn't come back from pre-season. He looks exhausted, but not doing any business in the summer. It might have been good business for them to renew all the contracts to their major players, Christian Eriksen, Harry Kane, Dele Alli and so on, but to not add a little bit of fresh blood in there, it seems to be already biting them in the backside. They seem to be very short of options.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Cohesion, look, it's great to have cohesion, and it's in kind of one way what Pochettino has done. He's cemented that confidence, saying, look, you're my boys from last season, and I think we can push on this season. But look, humans by nature are complacent. You need that fire. You need that kind of looking over your shoulder to see who's coming through to take your place, to kind of give you that edge. And that's why we're talking about Gini Wijnaldum. I think that's what happened with Wijnaldum is, there's talk of Gini possibly leaving in the summer, or there was rumours. But the guy's probably one of the first names on the team sheet now. You wouldn't have said that 6, 7, 8 months ago. And Christian is right. Regarding Naby Keita, he is the weak link in midfield. But Spurs just haven't brought in any new blood, and I think that's a bit of complacency, to be honest with you. It could be a number of things. I think, personally, their stadium is costing £750 million. The Spurs are going to be in trouble for a few seasons. I've said that before, and I'll say it again, and you can mark my words on that. Spurs are a team in decline, and they will be for a period of time.
Yeah, it seems like bad timing almost, doesn't it, Christian, on their half? The team is probably the best it's been for Spurs for a very long time. Daniel Levy as a chairman is clearly doing the right thing and trying to build a new stadium. But he's built it and getting Spurs into a new stadium, giving them a long-term future, bringing the NFL over to play games in their stadium. All the things that you'd want your chairman and the ownership to do. But as Dave has said, in the short to medium term, this could be quite tricky for them. We've seen it with Arsenal in the past.
Yeah, I do agree. I wouldn't complain too much about what Spurs have done. I think the main target was to keep the players, like you guys said before, and Son and all the other ones. However, the thing that you can take a difference from us compared to Spurs is that Henderson put Eric Dyer on the bench during the World Cup. And Eric Dyer is maybe the first central midfielder that Pochettino puts on his team sheet. And Eric Dyer wouldn't be part of our team. He wouldn't even go into our squad with Fabinho, Henderson, and the ones we already had. So I think we have a better team in midfield. And like David said before, I think it was in midfield that we won this game. We are very solid with our back four, and Gomez did a really good job against Harry Kane. It was one moment where he was out buying a hot dog or whatever you call it, but otherwise he made a spotless game, and he did one of these tackles that I just loved when he first took the ball out and then Lucas Moura, and I just loved that. It was so clean, so determined, and Lucas Moura wasn't the player he was before that tackling afterwards.
Yeah, Dave, I think the Liverpool midfield did very, very well in that game against Spurs. They dominated the Spurs midfield. I think they provided good protection to the back four, and there was only a couple of situations I can remember Spurs really getting in behind, and they came from errors pretty much. The Lucas Moura chance is probably the one that springs to mind the most, where he hit the post. Other than that, I thought we were pretty comfortable.
Absolutely, and the biggest compliment I could give the Liverpool 3 midfield was Spurs were completely bypassing. They were hoofing balls up, and when Spurs midfield did try to get it down and come through our midfield, James Milner was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. You just weren't getting past him. He was all over the place, and I mean, he was biting at people's ankles. And the thing about James Milner as well is, I don't know how many people took notice of this, how much he was in Mike Oliver's ear. Every single tackle, every single decision, he was in his ear giving him grief. And that's what you want from your vice captain or captain. You want him to be, of course, all over the place if he's a midfielder, you know, but in a I suppose, you know, in a, how would I say it, you know, in an intelligent kind of football pressing way. But as I said, the biggest compliment I can give was Spurs were completely bypassing our midfield and lumping the ball up.
Yeah, they weren't great at all. It really looked like Liverpool were levels ahead, and I felt if we needed to go up another gear, there was one or two there. Christian, there's one thing that didn't impress many Liverpool fans yesterday, and that was once again the performance of the front three. And I hate to be at all critical of them because they're wonderful footballers, but we were a little bit wasteful at times yesterday. But the point I'm making here, buddy, and the real opinion I want to get from you is the thoughts on some Reds that seem to believe that there's an issue between our front three, and that Mane in particular has started to get a bit greedy. I don't buy it personally, but I'd love to get your take on it.
Well, for starters, I think this was Firmino's best game of the season. He was really quality again, and you could kind of see that we were struggling as soon as he left the pitch after that eye incident. There's absolutely no rift between Mane and Salah. That's just ridiculous. However, subconsciously, Mane wants to help bring Keita into his form. And I think that moment where everybody is talking about he should have given the ball to Salah instead of Keita, it's three things that goes to Mane's head. One, he has to make a late decision. The defenders, they are 3 versus 2. He has to make a late decision. And he gives it to Keita. And I think it's because he wants to bring Keita up to his game. He wants to help him score the first goal because he knows what Keita can bring to the team. Secondly, it goes very quick. It's a moment like it's just a short moment when you make that decision. And I also think subconsciously that he thinks that the Spurs defenders might gonna go to mark Salah in the late end so that Keita will get the opening. Now it turned out to be differently, and now we Liverpool actually for the first time see that we have a huge new fan base that come from Egypt, and they probably a bit more support Salah than Liverpool, and that reflects on the debate about how this is, because they don't see it with the Liverpool eyes, they see it with Salah eyes, and that's huge difference from what we have experienced before. It's the Salah fan base is a movement, and we can just say that there is no rift. Mane is finding his way, and a striker needs to be a bit of a lone wolf sometimes as well, to find those spots to create goals from nothing. No rift, but we need to debate this with the new fan base, I think, in a different way than we have been used for. Instead of calling all the new fans for idiots or whatever we calling them, they are not used to the Liverpool way yet. We have to educate them.
So yeah, I have to say I wholeheartedly disagree with some of that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a Liverpool Football Club fan. You're a Liverpool Football Club fan. Dave's a Liverpool Football Club fan. Players come and go. They're transient employees of the football club in our eyes. It's the football club that we love. So I've got to say, if there is fans out there who are just fans of Mo Salah and they criticise anybody that doesn't do anything to help Mo Salah, well, I've got to be honest, they can go and fuck themselves, Dave, as far as I'm concerned. I love Mo Salah as much as the next man, but I love Liverpool Football Club more than anybody else. And if these fuckers aren't here to support the football club, in my eyes, they're not fans. And I've got to say it again, they can go and fuck themselves.
Yeah, look, I suppose, Fernando Torres broke my heart, Robbie Fowler broke my heart. Well, he didn't. Liverpool broke my heart when they sold him to Leeds. But no, look, players will come and players will go. I'm too long in the tooth now to, worry about individual players like that. It's Liverpool Football Club first and foremost, and, the rest comes into it then. God forbid if Jurgen Klopp is to leave tomorrow morning, there'll be another manager. That's just football. It's just the way it is. And we have to get used to it because players aren't going to be around forever.
On that, Christian, I can almost hear you laughing inside at what I'm after saying to an extent, but I want to clarify what I've said, because I've no problem with somebody just loving Mohamed Salah. No problem whatsoever if somebody's a Mohamed Salah fan. But when you start going on social media and criticising Sadio Mane, telling him to fuck off, racially criticising him, and the gentleman has to pull down the post that he put up on Instagram to congratulate himself on the team on their victory away at Spurs, that's for me, mate, where I start to get pissed off.
Yeah, like I said, I don't agree with this, but I can say that Liverpool has... First of all, we were in the Champions League final last year. We have a huge amount of new fans who hasn't learned yet what being a Liverpool fan is all about. And that's why I say we have to educate them what it is. And Liverpool is You Never Walk Alone. It is about the movement, that we care about each other. And Mane and Salah are probably two of the best friends in the squad. So to say there's a rift or whatever and Mane is going his way, I think all of that is like bullshit. But I'm just watching what's happened, and that's why I think we need to understand why this criticism has come up, and try to stop it.
Dave, bringing it back, because I want to bring it back to football, because this is what we're really here to talk about. Bringing it back to the game, after that victory against Spurs, Liverpool now 6 points clear of Manchester United, 6 points clear of Arsenal, 6 points clear of... Who else are we 6 points clear of, Craig? Arsenal, Manchester United, Spurs, excuse me. After 5 games, that's, a 2 win rate in the difference already after 5 games. That's a great start to the season, buddy.
You look at this chalk and cheese, Craig, compared to last season, and you look at the way we finished last season. We couldn't have had a better start to the season. It's been 28 years since we won 5 opening games in a row. But we didn't reach 15 points until the 28th of October last season. So it just goes to show you, with the likes of Alisson who's come in, Van Dijk obviously in January, and a couple of signings that's come in, just how strong this team is. And I said it in the summer, I do really think we'll win the league. I really, really do think that. It's the strongest squad I've ever seen. It's the best start to the season in fucking donkey's years. And look at the players that still have to come in. Players who aren't quite there. We have a Brazilian international. Shaqiri has to come in, and play more than 20 minutes. It's sensational, mate. It really is. Look, we lost to Spurs 4-1 last season. They still have to come to Anfield. There's nothing but positives. Nothing but positives, Greg.
Taking it towards tomorrow night, Christian, and for me the season really starts to heat up when the Champions League comes around. You see that Champions League flag being waved at Anfield, you hear that Champions League song. It's special, mate, it's special, it's where we want to be. But for the team selection on this one, it's not too long since the Spurs game. Are you expecting many changes? And I'm going to actually listen this time, and I'm going to base everything I do off your team selection, because they're always on the money.
First of all, I got the chills when you started to talk about that Champions League flag. Oh my God, it's just a huge smile on your face thinking about it, and memories from what we did last year comes back into mind. And European nights at Anfield and the European nights with Liverpool. It's so many memories and so much joy over the years and so much excitement. I can't wait for it to start. I think we will have the same lineup exactly. Difference is if Firmino's eye won't be fit. Then I think we will start with Sturridge instead of Firmino. Otherwise, I think it will be the same team as it was against Spurs. I think we will change towards the Southampton game quite a lot, actually, and the Chelsea game in Carabao Cup. But then we will have this squad for the next 3 games against Chelsea in the Premier League, Napoli in the Champions League, and Manchester City.
Dave,
that's what I think.
Dave, the one player everybody keeps asking about, and the one player people are starting to get almost a little bit impatient about, but in a good way, is Fabinho. Do you see Fabinho getting any minutes in this game?
Yes, I do actually. I find it hard to disagree with Christian over his team selection because he is spot on all the time. I'm not sure will Klopp change it up a bit with Firmino missing. It looks like he isn't playing. Does he go something? I'm not sure, to be honest, but I do see Firmino maybe coming in because we do have these run of games against some seriously big teams. So we have, obviously, look, we have PSG, we have Chelsea, we have City coming up. We have a lot of games in a short space of time. I do see Fabinho coming on because on the pitch, he'd be able to tell you, look, this is how maybe PSG are going to go, because he's played against them on a number of occasions. So I do see him getting minutes, and dare I say, I see him starting.
Vinnie Johnson said, I just love them all and I want them all to score whenever they play. Which is a beautiful comment.
Who will Fabinho start instead of?
Paeta.
Interesting.
I think he starts ahead. I think he starts ahead of Naby.
It's a big shout, and I'm a massive Naby Keita fan. That's a big shout. I'm finding hard to digest, but I'm not going to guess team selections. You know what? I'm useless at it, and Jurgen Klopp keeps surprising us.
I am too. But as I said, I find it hard to go against Christian because he has been. Look, hats off. He's been absolutely spot on. But I just think this is our biggest home game in the Champions League. It's against a team that could potentially win it. They're blessed with some really, really amazing footballers, and I just think you just need that player who might just know how they're going to operate. And if we can win that battle in midfield, I don't think the PSG defence can cope with fair enough, it could be Sturridge instead of Firmino, but even at that, a full fit Sturridge who's going to be looking to really impress Klopp as well. I think that's where the changes could be. Nice
comment in the chat from Junior, who said, I hope we see the likes of Curtis Jones, Nat Phillips, Rafa Camacho and that in the cup game against Chelsea, which, do you know what, I wouldn't mind at all. I think those three gentlemen in particular have done themselves no harm, had a very good pre-season and should be in contention to play that game, so rightly so. One person who worries me, Christian, and I'm not going to lie about this, it's Kylian Mbappe. I'm not worried about Neymar, not at all. I don't know why. I probably should be, but I'm not. It's Kylian Mbappe that petrifies me, buddy. The sight of him in full flow, ball at his feet, running at defenders is it's scary.
Yeah, well, first of all, when we talk about PSG, we have to think about that they actually lack a lot of players in their midfield, like both Rabiot and Verratti will miss this game. That's why I don't think that we will change in midfield. I think we will keep the engine running to control and dominate the game. And with us controlling the midfield, Mbappe will search for the weakness between Robertson and Van Dijk, and I can't see a weakness there. So I'm not really scared on his side. Again, Cavani will attack Gomez and Neymar will attack Trent. That will be my biggest fear in the game, so to speak. I don't think Mbappe will be the one, because I'm so confident in the defensive work from Van Dijk and Robertson with the speed. Robertson will be even more defensive in his ways, and but then again it will be maybe from like a corner or something like that. Mbappe can show up, but I don't see that Van Dijk will lose sight of him.
Dave, Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, who worries you?
Cavani and Mbappe. I just think Cavani's such an intelligent footballer still. I really do think he's world class. Mbappe, for obvious reasons, he's lightning quick. He's the world at his feet. And easily, the best young player at the World Cup. Neymar, I couldn't give two shites about him, to be honest with you, because he's just a fucking noodlehead prick who just dives all the time, so I have no interest in him. I wonder with PSG what kind of formation will they go with? Would it be would they go 4-3-3, or is it going to be 3-4-3 if they're going to be stuck in midfield? I'm really hoping it's the latter, because if they play three at the back, they're going to get absolutely leathered. And they have gone three at the back a couple of times this season in Liga 1. So it'd be interesting to see.
Christian, what way are you expecting this game to go? How do you think it's going to unfold? Where's the battle going to be, to wrestle control of this game? And how do you think Jurgen Klopp will go about it? A lot of questions in there, but I think they all relate to the same thing.
Yeah, I think Paris Saint-Germain will come into this game a bit differently than I think they will come into this game with caution. I think they saw what we did last year, and if they doesn't do that, and Thomas Tuchel, he was the coach of Dortmund when we made that historic win, and Lovren scored at the end of the game, another magic night at Anfield. So he knows the atmosphere, and fans wants to bring this atmosphere. So I think we will try to scare them in the most in the most ways. So I think we will start quite physical, and we will go for it, and we will run so much in the beginning in our press game, just to make them scared of what they are experiencing. So I think we will come out extremely strong in this game.
Dave, for you, who do you expect the key men to be for the Reds in this game? Where do you think Liverpool will win or lose the game?
I think the calmness now we have at the back with Alisson, and it just transpiring through that. Alisson is a key man. The way he's organising the defence, he's just coolness personified. Nothing is ruffling him or anything like that after, I suppose, the mistake against Leicester. Craig, there's 11 players on that pitch who could win a game for Liverpool Football Club. That's how good the first 11 in the squad is. It is difficult, mate. It is difficult to pick out who's really going to win this match, because the way Klopp has developed this team, it's a team of 18 lads, including the bench. But I just think we're just going to go at them hammer and tongue tomorrow. Don't be surprised if Liverpool are 2-3-0 up with half an hour gone, and PSG are completely rattled, because Anfield will be absolutely bouncing tomorrow as well.
Where can I sign up for that one, Dave? Just show me the dotted line that I can sign on for that 2 or 3-0 lead after half an hour, mate. That would be delicious.
But look, we've done it against City, Craig. We can do it against any team in the world with that noise and that atmosphere, and the Reds in form. Because let's be honest, Paris Saint-Germain, for as good as they are, they have not played a team half as good as Liverpool in Liga 1. They were resting players against Saint Etienne, which is a real compliment to Liverpool.
And still won it 4-0.
They won it 4-0, yeah, but for Christ's sake, Everton could beat Saint Etienne, and that says a lot. Do you know what I mean?
They can't beat West Ham, though.
Well,
everybody else in the league can, but Everton couldn't quite bring themselves to do it, which is always gives me a chuckle. Christian, to finish up on this particular game, and I have one more topic then after that. Predictions, mate. Predictions for the score of this one.
I wrote an article like 4 days ago, and I wrote that we were going to beat Tottenham with 2-1. And in that article, I wrote that we are going to beat Paris with 2-1. And I think that will be the score. We will win, and there will be chances that we could win with more. But I think Paris are a great team. And I remember how they started against Real Madrid away before Neymar got injured or whatever happened there. They looked absolutely fantastic in the start of that game. So I will get the 3 points to Liverpool, but I would say 2-1.
David, your end, mate, are you hearing static from Christian's mic, by the way? I was just wondering if it was me or if you're hearing pop on when he speaks.
No, I am hearing a small bit, yeah.
Grant, I was just wondering, so I better finish up the pod. But before I do, Dave, I want your prediction.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1. I'm going to stay with what I've said all week. I'm going 4-2 to Liverpool. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Look, I had one more topic to talk about, but I can hear that issue in the background and I don't want it affecting the rest of the podcast, so I'm going to leave it there. A massive thank you to Dave, a massive thank you to Christian for joining us. I'll be back at 10 o'clock, guys, with tonight's late night agenda. I'll talk to you all then. Until then, guys, up the motherfucking Reds.